Good evening. This is kind of an impromptu reading. I was set up to make a video for something else, and I wanted to do a reading from Jade Star because it's going to be free this weekend. And I'm part of the International Alliance of Science Fiction Authors. We are going to be offering a bunch of free books this weekend, and Jade Star will be among them. The theme for the giveaway books is alien science fiction, and Jade definitely qualifies. This novella I wrote a few years back, and it came out of the genesis of why are so many stories around Bildungsromans, the coming of age stories, teenagers going on quests. What about tough old ladies? I actually wound up making a list of books about tough old ladies, but then I wound up also writing one of my own. So, with no further ado, this is Jade Star. There's no such thing as eternal youth. My body may look pretty damn good for pushing 200 old Earth years, but I haven't been a young woman in over a century and a half, and I didn't ask for this. Had I been conscious and aware of what they were doing, I'd have fought like a madwoman. But by the time I woke up, it was done. Somehow it seemed ungrateful, with them all happy they had rescued me and saved me, to end my life again. I should explain, I expect. My name is Jade, and I was a rockhound. Left that profession behind after the incident I refer to. Seems rude to rub it in my family's face. After that, they were ready to push me off on the ice floe. Had to look all that up first time I heard the expression. I'd like to see an ice floe someday. The thought of that much water to float a chunk of ice big enough to hold a human. I made it and am still going strong. Then again, they might not recognize me. Was I to come back with this face and body? They likely don't remember the good old days when I first held a little un in Swabbies and showed him the stars, his home. Anyhow, I was old, real old, past being able to help out around the place. Scrolling is not smooth on here, sorry. Real old, past being able to help out around the place, and my mind was slipping. Might still be slipping, dunno. Wasn't their idea to space me, that was me. I didn't want to drag out my dying, and I was a mite anxious to rejoin my man, it having been those many years of alone but not alone. So I headed out in a little rock scooter into the thick of the asteroids so they couldn't find me. We couldn't afford me, the family. Not with me doing nothing to help even with the babbies any longer, and I kept breaking bones, so going dirt side wasn't an option. I wanted to have my end out there in the black with the stars like jewels all around. I saw the look Ferrick's wife kept giving me, and I took a hint right after my centennial birthday. Problem was, the scooter I took had a malfunction, which I knew, the reason I picked that one. Figured it'd get me out far enough, then give out, and I'd have a little time to admire the sparklies of the lights so far away before my time was up. But instead, that little motor kicked into high gear with an annoying whine and punched me so far out. I don't know where I wound up rightly. I'd passed out by then, more gravity than my old heart could take. I woke up on an alien ship and nothing hurt. Thought I was dead a minute. Then I swung my legs off that weird bed and stood up, and I knew it was real. And I could see myself reflected in a blue chrome wall. I looked like a girl again. Probably a good thing I was alone for that bit of time. I wasn't real happy. As I said, though, hard to be angry with them when it was clear they were pleased as anything over their work. Took me a while to figure out they'd never met an old human. They just restored me to what they thought I should be, thinking old age was a result of my scooter accident. Like little children with a building set, they are. I wish I had a better name to give them, the little people with the big eyes and plush fur. They don't look like animals to me, but maybe a little like something I remember from a picture book. A lemur. Only they don't have tails like that. They're affectionate as anything, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm forgetting a lot. Might be this old Bane. I've no way of knowing what they did to it, if anything. Damned if I'll let anyone open it up and take a look. Not yet, by a ways. After I'd taken my mat out on the wall, I'd laid down on the bed and taken a nap. I was tired, my hands were bloody. When I woke up, one of them was curled up with me. Half asleep, I thought he was one of the cats. Cats suited well to space, dogs not so much. So we'd always had cats with us in the rocks. They kept the vermin to a dull roar. Vermin will follow humans ever, and they were company when a rock jock was out for a month or to go picking up ore. I'm afraid I cried into his fur until he was soggy and no doubt sorry he'd volunteered to stay with me, but it was the best thing they could have done. He patted my face and talked to me. Not that I realized the sounds were words then, but it was soothing and it tided me over until I was in my right mind again. That wasn't a quick process, but I don't see a need to spill all the details if you don't mind, even if you do. Once I was ready to go on living, I started in on learning how to talk to them. Wasn't hard. They'd been in contact with humans before. Not many. They're shy, my friends are, but enough to have a bit of a phrase dictionary. I helped them with that. 'Twas easier for them to learn my lingo than for me to make theirs. I can't sing. I got to a point where we could have a conversation, and then I asked them to drop me off somewhere. I could have stayed with them. They knew that from the beginning. And nights spent with a mass of 'em all snuggled in a pile round me, it was tempting. They loved me, but I was a pet to them. Not as dumb as that cat I'd first mistaken black ears for, but not much brighter. I could no sooner understand what made their ship go than that old cat, for sure. I wasn't willing to be a pet, cosseted and coddled and petted. Me, who'd been a rock jock with my man and nothin' 'tween us and the stars but a bit of spun ceram steel. I had nothin', but then I had nothin' before him, too. He'd picked me up, never you mind where. It's enough that you know that it wouldn't be the first time I'd started out with nothin' more than my body and the brain in it. Only I figured I had a leg up this time around. I had a young body and an old brain. And that is the beginning of Jade Star. And if you want to read more, well, it's going to be free from the 9th through the 13th of March, 2021. And if you miss out on the sale, it's not that expensive and it's worth it. It's also the introduction to the three-part series that I've written, Tanager's Fledgling. I'm working on Tanager's Flight. That should be out later this year in 2021. And then probably next year, Tanager's Fleet, the final of the trilogy, will come out in 2022. But in the meantime, feel free to let me in the comments know what you want, and I will do some more readings. Bye, y'all.